Are you thinking about moving to Los Angeles, but you don't even know where to start in your research? Well, you came to the right channel. I was in your place 6.5 years ago. I can't even believe I've been in LA for 6.5 years. Wow, time goes by really fast. Well, the information that I will provide in this video, I wish I would have known. I really, really wish I would have known. My name is Christina White. I am a licensed realtor in the state of California with Keller Williams. Let me tell you a little background about me. I am originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I moved to LA November 2015. Wow, 2015. When I came to Los Angeles, I was a little disappointed. Actually, I wasn't a little, I was a lot of disappointed. I was a lot of disappointed because certain things I just wish I would have known. And I'm going to be real with you. When you talk to people that stay in Los Angeles when they are transplants, they don't really tell you the truth because it's just like people know that you're living in LA and a lot of people really want to live in LA. So it's kind of like, oh, you were living in LA, you doing your thing. So you don't want to say anything negative because guess what? It gives the assumption that LA is not what it is. So that's the problem what I had with a lot of people asking questions. I had one friend to tell me the real deal when it came to people in LA and also when it came to making money in LA. But when it came to my living situation in LA, did not have any advice, and I just want to help you because I'm telling you, it makes life a lot easier when you're trying to decide to move to LA. All right, so we're going to start with number one, and number one is LA living experience. What do you want your LA living experience to be? I wish I would have known that because if I would have known that, it would have been totally different with the neighborhood I would have chosen and also just different things I would have experienced in LA. I wouldn't have been depressed really the first few years if I would have known to be very clear about what I want my LA living experience to be. All right. So I'm going to tell you if I would have known this little pointer, what my LA experience, what I would have wanted my LA experience to be. I would have said, I want to be in an area where I am driving distance to the beach. I don't want to be on the beach, but I want to be like close to maybe about, I don't want to be too far from the beach, but I want to be driving distance. Also, I want to be walking distance to a cafe. Also would love to be next to like a local park. What else? I would like to be close to an interstate. Also, I would love to be in an area where singles are there, singles, and also we'll say couples around the age late 20s to like 45. And what else? Let me think. What else? Oh, also, I would love to be in an area where you have so much like variety of foods. Trust me, that I would have loved, that to be my LA experience. I had none of that. I'm telling y'all, I had none of that. And that's why think about what you want your experience in LA to be. If you have a family, ask everybody in your family, not just yourself, ask even children. If you have a 3-year-old, show pictures, show movies, and ask them, what do you want your LA experience? What do you think? What would you want to do when you move to LA? Or if we move to LA, what would you like to do? Ask everyone in the family. But when I tell you, please be clear on that, okay? All right. So we're going to head to number 2, LA neighborhoods. LA is huge, y'all. It is huge, okay? When I say it's huge. And depending on the neighborhood that you stay in, every vibe in the culture is different. Okay, so that's why when I say number one, you need to figure out what do you want your LA living experience to be. This will help you with number 2 to understand what neighborhoods that you would like to research. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by saying I stayed in the Valley. In the valley, it's a lot hotter. It's hot there. I don't care about the heat. That wasn't my thing because I'm from the South, so the heat wasn't a big issue to me. Also, it's very suburban. You get more privacy in the Valley compared to other places in LA. And also the cost of living is a lot lower. I can say that for the Valley. So with my LA living experience, I didn't get what I wanted. Like I stayed by a lot of families. And as a single person, you will realize in LA, if you meet people that are just say downtown LA, they're not going to come to the Valley to come visit you or vice versa. Like if you meet people in the Valley, they're not going to go really to downtown LA. So you have to be very, especially like I said, if you are single or whatever, that is something to take in consideration if you want to mingle, you know? So people don't like to drive to different places because of traffic is really crazy. So for me, it was too many families for me. And what happens is that when you are around a lot of families, guess what happens? The businesses and establishments in your area are going to cater to that environment. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. So I didn't have that experience. But again, everyone is different. You may say, I want to be in an area that is family oriented or family friendly. That makes sense. Or you may say, I want to live on the beach, close to the beach. Or you may say, I want to be in an area where everything is happening. So I'll say, okay, if you want to be where the parties are located, you don't mind tourists, hey, go to Hollywood, go to West Hollywood. That's a place. I could say if you want to be on the beach, hey, move to Santa Monica, move to Venice. They may a Redondo Beach. It's like certain different places in LA. Again, the neighborhoods are huge. If you want more of a eclectic kind of style, a little hippie, guess what? I'll tell you, okay, Silver Lake may have that feel for you. If you kind of like, if you from, just say, we'll say the gentrified part of Brooklyn now, just say if you want that feel, Silver Lake may be your thing. Echo Park may be your thing. So again, you have to understand what you want to experience. And so for example, now I moved to Culver City. So literally Culver City, so many food places. Love it. I can walk down the street. I can go to a mom's and pops cafe, coffee shop. I'm sorry. And also if I don't want to go to a mom's and pop coffee shop, I can literally walk down the street and go to Starbucks. I love it. Not only that, I'm just walking distance even from like a juice shop, so I'm walking distance for a lot of places. Not only that, guess what, y'all? I'm literally 15 minutes drive to the beach. Can you believe that? 15 minutes. Just 15 minutes. Without traffic, just 15 minutes. And literally, a lot of mornings, I just wake up and I just want to zen and I go to the beach. I can walk the beach. You see how good that is? That's part of what I want my LA living experience to be. And guess what? I'm loving LA. I'm loving LA because I'm living my LA experience. So I'm telling you that's very important, okay? To be very clear about that, all right?
Hey y'all. So I forgot to add number 3 to my list. So this may look a little bootleg, but it'll be okay. So number 3 is flexible expectations. So sometimes, you may find you may have things on your list from number 1 that you want, and then you get to you may find a home, or you may find an apartment that you like, or condo, whatever it is. And guess what? You're like, okay, they have all the living expectations I want, like the life I want to live, like maybe like everything that's surrounding it, but the apartment itself, or the condo itself, or the home itself does not. You have to be flexible. And I had to learn that because, to be honest, coming from Atlanta, actually still have a lot of new development. So I was used to having in my kitchen black appliances. So when I moved here, a lot of apartments had white appliances. I was like, what? Who still have white appliances? And I know it depends on where you're coming from. You may be like, that's not a big deal, but for me, it was, because all the developments that I have lived in college or whatever, literally all the appliances were black. Like, I never had to deal with white appliances since the 90s. So I was taken back from that. And also, like, here, a lot of the apartments, depending on where you're going and your price range, was really burgundy and green carpet. I was like, they still have burgundy and green carpet? Where? So anyway, I had to be a little flexible with my expectations. So my first apartment, it was a new apartment, which I lucked out. The only thing I had to be flexible on was I had to buy a refrigerator. I was really shocked. I was like, you have to buy a refrigerator? What? Is that a such thing? So again, be a little flexible with your expectations. So just say, for example, I may have clients who say, I have to have a garage. Okay. So just say on your list, all of your LA living experiences is there in that neighborhood, but your place don't have a garage. Are you gonna give up the spot because of the garage? Maybe, maybe not. So I'm just saying sometimes just look at your expectations and just be a little flexible, which is more important to you. The things that's in the area or what you're expecting. So I do take that in consideration because, again, like I said, I had to be really flexible because, like I said, my first apartment, everything was pretty new, but it just did not have a refrigerator, and it didn't have a dishwasher as well. But I kind of could deal with the dishwasher, but that refrigerator situation, I was like, what? But I realized, okay, let me be flexible. So I do say you have to be flexible. And again, just know what you really want, have clarity about what you want, and then maybe just say if everything from your number one which is your LA living experience, is on this list, you could say, okay, you know what, I could be a little flexible. But just say if you only have like maybe just a little few things, and guess what? No, we move to the next. But anyway, on to number 4.
Right? All right. So we're going to go to number 4. Number 4 is weather/natural disasters. The weather in LA, when I moved here, I was really shocked by the weather. Now, I knew that LA didn't have seasons, but when I came in 2015, it was cold. Y'all, it was cold. I had to call my mom and tell her to ship my winter clothes. My mom was like, "What?" I had to ask her to ship my winter clothes. That's how cold it was. Now, climate change is a real thing. So I'm gonna say the past few years, that coldness I haven't felt in a long time. So it changes that way. But for the most part, in LA, the temperature runs around about 60 to 80 something degrees. Now, another shocker that I had was the temperature dropped at a certain time very low. So you need to be dressed accordingly. So if you out, make sure you dress accordingly because the temperature would drop. So I remember back in the day, I used to watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Carlton used to have his shorts on. He may have shorts, a long sleeve shirt, or he'll have short sleeve shirt and he'll have like a sweater or a long sleeves like shirt tied on his neck. And I used to be like, what is Carlton doing? But I'm not gonna lie, I actually like the style, but I was still thinking like, why is he dressed like that? Moving to LA, I realized that's why he was doing it, because you know why? During the day, yes, it's warm, but guess what? 6:37. Oh my gosh, the temperature drop. You need something on your arms. Can you imagine you're out and you like leaving? You're like, oh my gosh, it's cold. So think about that. Sometimes people don't understand that aspect. When it comes to the weather. So when we talk about, we'll go to the next thing, which is the natural disasters. Wildfires in LA is a real thing, y'all. It's a real thing. And when I was in the valley, we experienced a lot of wildfires. Now, the area that I stayed, we necessarily wasn't close to the wildfires, but we did get the aftermath of the wildfires. So sometimes we actually, before COVID, we had to put on masks because you'll see ashes in the air, or the debris from the fires. So you have to take that in consideration because it's a real thing. So whenever, if you're thinking about buying a home or renting out a place, know where you're living and to see if the area is wildfire prone. Now I've been in areas, I have clients that stay in wildfire areas in the valley. No problem. No problem. Beautiful homes. Okay. So no problem. It's just that, just that is something you may want to research. Okay. And my last little thought when it comes to LA in this category is the beach. So I'm used to going to the beach. I'm used to getting in the water, being in the South. I'm used to going to Florida, also the Caribbeans. And I'm like, okay, it feels so soothing. The water is warm. I love it. In LA, the water is cold, freezing cold. To me, it's not comfortable. So when you're used to like warm water, getting in the beach, I don't know. I'm not able to adjust to how cold it is. in the ocean here. So I guess, you know, the Atlantic Ocean is warmer than the Pacific or whatever. I don't know. But it's just to let you know, heads up, the water is really cold. So if you're thinking like, oh my gosh, I want this beach life, I want to get in the water. To be honest, when I go to the beach, I'm really enjoying like maybe walking. Also, like, you know, I might do some cycling, or like I said, I'll set up shop on the sand and, you know, read a book, or just, you know, look out into the water. But getting in the water, I'm not doing, y'all. It's too cold. I can't. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, concerns, or if you just have any suggestions on videos that you would like for me to make, let me know. Send me an email. Also, you can comment below. All right. Until next time.